Welcome back to New Rockstars, I'm Erik Voss, and now that Hugh Jackman is confirmed to return as Wolverine in the MCU in Deadpool 3, suddenly all those X-Men movies many of you thought you could skip every other one of are actually important. Wolverine's death at the end of the 2017 film Logan has now come under question, and the exact timeline logic of Deadpool 2 and X-Men Days of Future Past now bears some major weight on the logic of how Deadpool and Wolverine could cross over into the MCU. For the past several years, I've been keeping a warm spot in my brain for all the seemingly useless knowledge of X-Men movie timeline logic, and now it's finally paying off! We need to know exactly what versions of Deadpool and Wolverine are joining the MCU, what they've been through, and what era of jacked Hugh Jackman was. Because you know, if he's a variant from the 2000 X-Men or a variant from the 2013 The Wolverine, that's a difference of like a few thousand calories per day for him. So the first X-Men movie came out in the year 2000, but was stated to take place in a not too distant future. This was Hugh Jackman's first appearance as Logan, aka Wolverine, and as a relative unknown, he didn't expect to get the part, but he said that then associate producer Kevin Feige took him out to dinner, and after Jackman was cast and director Bryan Singer banned comic books on set, Hugh Jackman would sneak over to Kevin Feige's office to read comic books and get a better understanding of the character. And ever since then, the two have always had a great relationship and have been looking for ways to work together again, and now they finally can. X2, X-Men United, takes place in 2003, X-Men The Last Stand in 2006, and then in 2009, Fox spun off the franchise into X-Men Origins Wolverine. This tracks Logan's past as a child named James Howlett in the 1840s, and then an ageless forever soldier through the US Civil War, World War I, World War II, and then in Vietnam. The main events of the film take place in the late 70s and early 80s, with the climax in 1981, as Logan faces off against Ryan Reynolds' Wade Wilson as a version of Deadpool with his mouth fused shut. In 2011, Fox did a bit of a reboot of the X-Men movies with X-Men First Class, starring a whole new lineup of these mutant characters when they were younger in the 1960s. But since Logan does not age, he still cameoed in a bar when the younger Professor X and Magneto try to recruit him.
Go f yourself.
In 2013, a sequel to the 2009 X-Men Origins movie came out called The Wolverine. This was the first one directed by James Mangold. It opens with Logan in Nagasaki when the bomb was dropped in 1945, but then the rest of it takes place in the present day. So now we have two eras of X-Men lineups, an older one and a younger one. And in 2014, X-Men Days of Future Past came out featuring both casts, and this movie is great. It opens in the post-apocalyptic future of 2023, and the X-Men project Logan's mind back in time to his younger body in 1973 to prevent that dark future. And as they successfully change the timeline, the events of Days of Future Past erase the X-Men timeline of everything that happened after the year 1973, basically erasing the events of X-Men Origins of Wolverine and erasing the things that people didn't really like about X2 and X-Men The Last Stand, leaving Logan in a revised year of 2023 at the X-Mansion with Charles and Cyclops, Jean Grey, and the rest of the X-Men, all of them still alive. This film is what makes Logan such a critical Nexus character now to respawn in Deadpool 3 and potentially Avengers Secret Wars. As a regenerative mutant unstuck in time with memories of alternate realities, his mind is flexible enough to maintain sobriety across the multiverse and balance memories of multiple lives. So after Days of Future Past, the X-Men franchise continued thereafter because Fox had to keep pumping out X-Men films every 2 years in order to maintain the rights to the characters. So in 2016, we got X-Men Apocalypse that is set in the year 1983 with the whole First Class cast of the X-Men. And in that movie, Jean and Scott visit the Alkali Lake lab and run into Logan shortly after his adamantium surgery. He's not in very good shape. Well, he is in good shape, but you know, not in good shape. And the follow-up to that movie was 2019's Dark Phoenix, set in 1992. There's no Wolverine in that one, and there's not much to take away from it. Same for the New Mutants. Both these movies are worth checking out, but not really many implications for future events. Fall is officially here, and that means it's time to start taking the three main falls of fall seriously. I mean, of course, the falling leaves, the falling temperatures, and falling asleep. You've probably already got a rake and a cozy sweater, and I bet you think you've got a mattress that's perfect for falling asleep on, but unless you've got a Helix sleep mattress, you are not taking falling asleep seriously enough. Helix Sleep makes premium mattresses and bedding customized to fit your needs and shipped right to your door. And look, I'm not a sleepologist or anything, but I don't need to be. Helix is a sleep quiz that matches your unique body type and your sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. You can even take it with a partner and find the mattress that's the perfect compromise between your preferences. I took the quiz. I wanted a medium fur mattress with lumbar support that sleeps cool, and I got matched with the Dusk Luxe Helix mattress. I've had it for a few months and I absolutely love it. I sleep better and I wake up less often often than I used to. Helix delivers your mattress right to your door for free. It comes rolled up in a shockingly tiny box and it's super easy to set up yourself. Helix has a 100-night sleep trial, so you'll get more than 3 months to make sure that you love your mattress. If you don't, they'll pick it up for you and you'll get a full refund. And these mattresses also have a 10-year warranty. That is an entire decade. Helix even has financing options and flexible payment plans, so a great night's sleep is never far away. I love my Helix and I think you would too. So if you're looking for a new bed, check out Helix. You can click the link below or go to helixsleep.com/rockstars and get up to $200 off your Helix mattress. But in 2017 was James Mangold's follow-up to the Wolverine, Logan, which is set in the year 2029. Mangold chose that year as about 5 or 6 years after the ending of Days of Future Past, and in this future, all of the X-Men had been killed off by one of Charles Xavier's psionic seizures, leaving Logan as the only one left to take care of him. It is in this movie where Logan dies, killed by his clone X-24. Now, Deadpool came out in 2016 and Deadpool 2 in 2018, and both of these seem to occupy a parody side reality that's adjacent to the X-Men. Like in Deadpool 2, the X-Men Apocalypse cast cameos, and they're the age that they are in the 1980s, despite it being the present day. So when it comes to Deadpool 3, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman kind of started to explain.
How is Wolverine alive after Logan?
Logan takes place in 2029, totally separate thing. Logan died in Logan. Not touching that.
And as all this blew up on social media, Logan's director, James Mangold, tweeted a gif of Logan's death by X-24 and followed up saying, "Logan will always be there, multiverse or prequel, time warp or wormhole, canon or non-canon, or even without a rationale. I cannot wait to see what madness my dear friends cook up." And to that point, Deadpool 2 does end with a bunch of timeline shenanigans. Deadpool uses a time travel wristwatch that he got from Cable to go back to visit Wolverine in the year 1981 to kill his alternate self and tell that era of Wolverine,
"Look, eventually, you're gonna hang up the claws, and it's gonna make a lot of people very sad. But one day, your old pal Wade's gonna ask you to get back in the saddle again. And when he does, say yes."
And so when Ryan Reynolds mentions 2029, it tells us that Reynolds has done his homework on Logan, highly respects that film, and intends on Logan's death in that movie staying an absolute endpoint for the character. But since Hugh Jackman Wolverine is the one constant among all the Fox X-Men movies, Deadpool really can't find him from any point in this history from the year 1981 and thereafter, and then explore an alternate branch timeline for the character in the multiverse. X-Men Days of Future Past ending in the year 2023 might be a bit of divine coincidence for Kevin Feige, or maybe part of his genius plan, because 2023 has been kind of the magic year that he's been using in the MCU. 2023 is when the blip ends in Avengers Endgame, and has kind of been a bit of a calendar year zero for Phase 4 and beyond. Spider-Man No Way Home and Hawkeye are set in December 2024, Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk have been set in 2025. We still haven't gotten to the year 2029. We know Kevin Feige considers Days of Future Past important because in Multiverse of Madness, Charles Xavier calls back his own line from that film. Meanwhile, Feige also obviously considers the first X-Men important because that recent Easter egg in She-Hulk shows the headline "Man fights with metal claws in bar brawl," which is a nod to Wolverine's specific introduction in that 2000 film. And we also know that Feige's plan from the beginning was to casually imply these mutants might already exist in the MCU based on the original version of the Iron Man post-credit scene in 2008.
As if gamma accidents, radioactive bug bites, and assorted mutants weren't enough.
But you could look at the events of 2023 in the MCU continuity and conclude that the Infinity Stone cosmic radiation blasts might have altered reality in a specific way to blip a number of X-Men into the MCU, and our Hugh Jackman Wolverine is that man with the metal claws referenced by the headline. Personally, I would prefer if the MCU Wolverine could have been part of the shared World War II history, part of that legacy of super soldiers after Steve Rogers, but after the success of reprising Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in No Way Home, and this announcement of Avengers Secret Wars, clearly one path forward for these past franchise cameos, at least ones that they might want to bring back once or twice and then move on thereafter, is the multiverse. So Feige will likely recast a variant 616 universe Wolverine in the MCU, but the Hugh Jackman Wolverine in Deadpool 3 will be a universe hopper who likely picks up with Logan after the events of X-Men Days of Future Past and before his death in Logan, extracting him as a variant from that 2023 Nexus point the way Loki was extracted from the 2012 Time Heist Nexus point to avert his death and pursue a new destiny in the multiverse. Luckily for Hugh, he kept his shirt on at the end of Days of Future Past, so 2023 Logan doesn't have to box kangaroos to get into shape. So what are the key X-Men movies to watch to understand Wolverine's arrival in the MCU? All of them! Let's start with the first X-Men in 2000 and X-Men Days of Future Past, the 2 Deadpools, and Logan. That's it, just those 5. I mean, again, all of them, especially X2 is really fun, X-Men First Class, also really fun, but those 5 are the required viewing or required rewatching. Better get started, you only have 2 years. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars, subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching, bye.